If you are struggling with concealer, like which one do you use? Do you use a cream one? When do you use this one? How do you cover a blemish? All of that. I'm going to be talking about that in this video. I know it can be overwhelming because there's different types of concealers. Some of them do not work under your eyes. So I'm going to share some tips with you along with application. Let's get into the video. There are many different types of concealers, and it really depends on what you're concealing on your face because not all concealers are going to work for under your eyes. And also, I just want to mention this too. If you don't have any discoloration or anything under your eyes, you really don't even need to use a concealer under your eyes. I use one because I have teardrops. Can you see that? So I'm going to show you how I conceal mine in case you haven't seen that. But I'm also going to talk about different ones that I have. This isn't about the brand. I just wanted to share different types because there's cream like this from MAC, and I have one from NARS. So let's start there first. Something like this is not going to work as well under your eyes. It's going to be too heavy for you. And you see how this pan is? There's different colors in there depending on what you want, your skin tone is and what you're concealing. So for instance, I'm going to put something on this right here. It's not even as visible in this right there. I don't want to use this is okay. This could work, the Natasha Denona one. But one that's going to work even better is one that's a little bit thicker and creamier, like I said, the NARS or this. Now, this is a little too light. I got too light of a color. Can you see the difference? When you are concealing a blemish on your face, you don't want to highlight it. You want to actually make it a little bit darker. Not too dark, but you want to darken it. And I do prefer to do this before I apply my foundation. I like to put it on first, let it sit there, and then I'll apply it on top. Let it kind of melt into my skin. If I do have to go over it afterwards, sometimes it happens depending on the blemish, I still have a good base on there. So something like this, I use a brush like this. This one's from Clay de Peau. You don't need to get this one. This is just one that I like to use. Kind of flat. And I'll just go ahead and I'll just kind of mix a couple of colors in here. And then I will apply it like that. And I'll let it sit there too. So I just will let that sit there for a while. And like I said, kind of melt into my skin. This is just going to work so much better than if I use something that's liquid. And if you have even discoloration like sun damage, maybe you have some melasma, and using something that's a little bit thicker in those areas is really great. Now, you don't even have to wear foundation if you don't want to. Maybe you're of a certain age and you just feel like every foundation creases on you. Then this is really using something like this is great because you can just use it in the areas that you need it, blend it out. It's not going to look like you have stuff here and not there because by the time you blend it out, it's just going to look really, really pretty. Okay. But this works better on the face than under the eyes. It can just be a little bit too heavy for under mature eyes, even younger eyes, I feel like too. So let's talk about color correcting. Now, if you have a lot of darkness under your eyes or you have tear troughs, mine are kind of purpling color. I know it's hard to tell in my videos because of my lighting, but trust me, I have that. So I like to get a concealer that has a little bit of a peachy base. So that's why I like to use something like this. This one's from Sisley and it has a peach base. I'm going to show you. It has very thin inconsistency. It's right there. And I love it because it doesn't, this is the one I'm going to use, but I'm not going to use it right now. But this is all I need to use because it has that nice peach undertone. It's really, really light. It conceals for me, but it's so light, it doesn't crease. It's wonderful. Something you have to remember too when it comes to under your eyes is you don't want to use a lot of product. I mean, very, very little product. The more product you have in your eyes is going to crease, especially when you smile. See, I have creases and all that going on when I smile. So if I apply something too thick, then it's going to look creased and it's not going to look very nice. So if you do have to color correct first, there's a concealer that you really love but it just doesn't conceal enough for you. Maybe you even use this one and it's not enough for you. Then you want to go in with something like this, and this is a color corrector. This one is in a cream, but it's very light, and this one is from Bobbi Brown. I'm going to actually put some of this on so I can show you. So you can use something like this. Now this one came with my Sicily, but you can look for a even lip brush. You can look for a lip brush that you can use. Lip brushes are about the same kind of size. You just want something small. You don't I can use this, but when I do, I turn it this way so it's kind of chiseled, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. I don't put it on like this because it's going to apply too much product. So something like this is better. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this product, put it on here, and then I'm just going to put it right here. Now I even get it up here because I have some discoloration up here. And then I work it down here. And at that point, you can take your finger and you can blend some of that. Like that, and just blend it out. And there you go. So look at the difference that's made already just from using that. And maybe that'll be enough for you. I like to go in with a concealer. So like I said, I like to use something like this. I won't use that one today. I'll use a different one just to show you. This one's from Natasha Denona. This is full coverage. Full coverage is great to use on your eyes, but you've got to use very little. Something like this, by the way, you can use this all over your face. You can use this as a foundation. I do this a lot of times. I will use this as a foundation. I'll show you in a minute. But you want to put a little bit right here. Again, we're just putting it on here. And I've said this before in other videos, even if you have it's all discoloration all here, you don't want to put any more than that on because it's going to be too much. I'm going to go back and use that same brush. I just want to wipe that off a little bit. Now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to tap it right here. And I'm going to keep it in this area. And then I will slowly work it up. I can take my finger then. And sometimes the warmth of your finger too kind of melts it in there. And that is it. So let's talk about concealers for your face. So you can use pretty much anyone. I really like these. These are really nice. Like I said, Natasha Denona. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's definitely full coverage. You have to be careful with this. This is kind of a bright color. You don't want to put too bright of a color on your eyes because it can make you look like you have raccoon eyes. Okay. But I do like to put a little bit of this on my eye sometimes just to add a little bit of brightness. I just use this in different areas of my face, more for like highlighting, if you will, on certain parts of my face. I will use this not all the time, but that's what I use that for. But if you do use something like this, I'm going to show you a different way to apply it. So I'm going to use it right out of this. Right, instead of putting it on something, I'm not going to put it right under my eye. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start right here, like near that area, but I'm doing it below and making some dots. And I know it looks like a lot, but it's not. Trust me. I'm like putting very little pressure on as I'm doing it. I'm going to take this and I'm going to keep it down like that. And I'm going to keep it down there. Do you see how bright it is? And then as you're working and you're blending it like that, then you can start putting it under your eye. But the thing is, you just want to, you want to thin it out away from under your eye as much as you can and blend it before you just slap it under your eye. Because if you just put all that on your eye, it's going to crease. It's just going to. So, as I said, these are all great for your face. If you get the right color, this is great for your face. I want to show you a little bit of this on my face so you can see. I think I'm going to go on this side where I've already have some where I put that other concealer. I'm just gonna put some on one side here. I have to film other videos, so I hope my makeup's gonna look okay. And I'm gonna take I don't have a foundation brush in here. Use this brush, and I'm just going to tap it on. And something you can do too is you can use a little bit of like MAC Fix Plus setting spray to blend it out too. But what's nice about using a concealer for your foundation is it's going to be much lighter. So again, if you are somebody like I can't wear foundation because it settles, and you're probably going to like something like this, just don't go crazy applying too much. I'm going to show you my face up close so you can see. But you can see how well that all covered and concealed on that side. And it's concealing my redness by my nose. But see how it looks like my skin? That's a nice thing about using a concealer as a foundation. If you're somebody, like I said, if you can't wear foundation, this is a great, great one to do. But you, again, you wouldn't want to use a cream one all over. It's going to be too heavy on you. So let me get the rest of my makeup on, and I want to share a couple more tips with you. Skin prep is always going to be really, really important when you are applying a concealer, whether it's under your eyes or on your face. So always make sure that you're prepping your skin first. When it comes to covering a blemish, if it's all scabby and dry, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to totally conceal that. So when you're not wearing makeup, you just want to really take care of your skin as it's healing. So then when you do apply makeup, it's going to look more seamless. There was a product, oh, here it is. I believe they still make this. This is kind of old. This is one I haven't shared. But this is from Color Science, and this is a color corrector. This is a powder product. It also has sunscreen benefits in it. So what's great about this is if you do have a blemish or you have some redness on and you don't want to use a cream product, or maybe you have a blemish and it's here, I'm going to show you because I'm going to go over, where's it at? Right here. Here's my blemish. You can kind of still see it a little bit. So on the back here, it has it tells you the shades. Okay, there we go. So all of those shades are going to do something different. So some of them are going to get rid of red tones. Some are going to get rid of blue. It depends on what you have going on. So I have to get my glass on so I know which one I'm going to use. And I believe it is this one because I want to get rid of the redness. So I look on the back here. This one is going to get rid of red tones right here. So I'm going to use that. And you get this little brush, by the way. I'm just going to put a little bit on this brush. I probably shouldn't be using this because it's kind of old. But look at that. Look how I just covered that up. You can't even see it. This is a really, really nice product. Again, if you're somebody that you want to conceal a pimple, but you just feel like when you put a concealer on, sometimes it doesn't stick really well depending on the blemish, this is a great product. It's kind of pricey, but it does last a long time. So as far as the skincare benefits, I know I didn't mention it. It does have SPF in it, but we always know that we want to apply our sunscreen. That's more important. But I just wanted to add that in there. It does have an SPF. I don't think it truly matters. It's just a really nice product if you have to touch up some things on your face. You could even use this under your eyes. If you didn't want to use a cream, you could even use a little bit of that if you just have a little bit of discoloration. It's not going to be like a regular concealer, but it's just nice in areas of your face if you feel like you have some discoloration. It's different than using a cream, a thicker cream concealer, or one of the other concealers that I was sharing with you. I hope that that makes sense. So I just wanted to throw that out there too. There's that option too. And as far as covering scars up, I like to use something normally that's full coverage. That's what I use on my lip. I will use something that's full coverage. So full coverage concealer. So the Sicily concealer that I use under my eyes, I would not use that there. I would use Natasha Denona. So it's good to have a couple different concealers just to have, so it depends on what you're going to use it for. If you need it for under your eyes, or maybe you need it for a blemish, or you need it to cover up some discoloration in your face, it's good to have a couple I feel like, in your cosmetic bag. So I really hope that this video was helpful and informative. If you were kind of confused on what concealers to use, I hope that you found this helpful. And if you are new here, I would love to have you join. I share new videos every single week. Please consider smashing that subscribe button below. It is free. And I would greatly appreciate if you've enjoyed this video. I really hope that you did. Please make sure you like, share, comment my video. It helps to push them out to the algorithm. Would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.